There is a famous saying that often echoes in the halls of modern leadership and personal growth. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. This powerful insight, attributed to Alvin Toffler, has never been more relevant than it is today. For those of us who have reached our 50s, 60s, or even beyond, this concept carries a unique and profound weight. We are a generation that has witnessed the most rapid technological and social transformation in human history. We grew up in a world of analog phones, physical libraries, and career paths that often stayed stable for 40 years. Today, we stand in a world of artificial intelligence, global connectivity, and a landscape that shifts beneath our feet every single day. To stay relevant, to stay curious, and most importantly, to stay vibrant in this second half of our lives, we must master the most difficult and rewarding skill of all, the art of unlearning. Unlearning is not a process of forgetting or losing the wisdom you have spent decades gathering. On the contrary, it is about the courage to let go of how things used to be, to make room for how things are now. Imagine your mind as a beautiful, historic library. Over the years, you have filled it with thousands of books, many of which contain the rules, habits, and beliefs that helped you succeed in your 30s and 40s. But some of those books are now outdated. The maps inside them lead to roads that no longer exist. Unlearning is the process of identifying those outdated volumes and removing them from the shelves so that you have space for new maps and new knowledge. It is a deliberate act of clearing the clutter to allow for a fresh perspective. For many of us, this feels deeply uncomfortable. We have spent our lives becoming the experts. We are used to being the ones with the answers. Admitting that we need to become beginners again can feel like a loss of status or a step backward. But here is the secret that every great master knows. Being a beginner again is the ultimate fountain of youth.
The science behind this is incredible and hopeful. For a long time, the medical community believed that the human brain stopped developing after young adulthood. We were told that we were born with a fixed number of neurons and that aging was simply a slow process of decline. However, modern neuroscience has completely debunked this myth. We now know about neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. Whether you are 55, 75, or 95, your brain is still a dynamic, living system capable of change. When you challenge yourself to learn a complex new skill, when you force yourself to see a problem from a completely different angle, your brain literally builds new highways of information. You are not just learning a skill, you are physically keeping your mind young. The struggle you feel when trying to master a new digital tool or understanding a new social concept is not a sign of failure. It is the feeling of your brain growing.
The first major hurdle in this journey is the unlearning of our own limiting beliefs. Many of us carry around an internal voice that says, "I'm too old for this," or "Technology just isn't my thing." These are not facts. They are stories we tell ourselves to stay comfortable. To unlearn these beliefs, we must start with radical awareness. We need to look in the mirror and challenge the assumptions we have about our own potential. The world often tries to tell people over 50 that it's time to slow down, to step aside, and to settle into the retirement mindset. But unlearning means rejecting that narrative. It means deciding that your age is an asset, not a liability. Your decades of experience give you a foundation of context and emotional intelligence that younger generations are still building. When you combine that wisdom with a beginner's mind, you become a formidable force.
The second step is intentional curiosity. In our younger years, learning was often driven by external pressure, getting a degree, landing a job, or getting a promotion. Now, in the second half of life, Learning can be driven by the pure joy of discovery. This is the time to ask why and how with the same intensity as a child. Don't just learn a new skill because you have to. Learn it because you want to understand the world you live in. Whether it's learning how to code, mastering a new language, understanding the complexities of climate science, or even picking up a musical instrument for the first time, do it with the heart of a student. This intentional curiosity keeps the flame of passion alive. It prevents the stagnation that often leads to feeling disconnected from society.
The third pillar of this process is embracing micro-learning. One of the reasons people feel overwhelmed by relearning is that they think they need to master everything at once. They look at the massive mountain of digital change and feel paralyzed. The antidote to this is the power of the small win. You don't need to understand every aspect of artificial intelligence in a weekend. You just need to learn how to use one tool for 15 minutes. Consistency is vastly more important than intensity. If you commit just 15 or 20 minutes every morning to a new subject, by the end of a year, you will have spent over 100 hours mastering it. Those small, daily investments build a compound effect that transforms your confidence and your capability. It's about the journey, not the destination.
Furthermore, we must unlearn our fear of failure. In our careers, many of us were rewarded for being right and punished for being wrong. This created a deep-seated fear of looking foolish. But unlearning and relearning require us to be okay with making mistakes. It requires us to laugh at ourselves when we click the wrong button or when we struggle to remember a new vocabulary word. The most successful people in their 50s and 60s are those who aren't afraid to ask stupid questions. They understand that every mistake is a data point that leads to mastery. By letting go of the need to be perfect, you unlock a level of freedom that you might not have felt since you were a teenager.
The fourth step involves the power of community. Relearning is not a solitary sport. It is something that thrives in connection with others. We need to unlearn the idea that we have to figure everything out on our own. Seek out mentors, and don't be afraid if those mentors are half your age. There is a beautiful phenomenon called reverse mentoring, where a younger person teaches an older person about digital culture or new technologies, while the older person shares their wisdom on leadership and life. This exchange creates a bridge between generations that benefits everyone. When you share your learning journey with others, when you discuss what you're struggling with and celebrate what you've mastered, the information becomes deeply rooted in your mind. Teaching what you have just learned to someone else is, in fact, the most effective way to ensure you never forget it. Physical and health relearning is also a critical part of this journey. Many of us grew up with old ideas about diet, exercise, and aging that have been refined or even replaced by new science. Unlearning the decline model of aging means realizing that our physical health is also something we can relearn. We can learn new ways to move, new ways to nourish our bodies, and new ways to prioritize sleep and mental health. The old myth that you just get slower and weaker is being challenged by thousands of athletes and active adults who are discovering that they can be in the best shape of their lives in their 60s. As we move forward, we must realize that the second half of our lives isn't about fading into the background. It is about reinvention. It is about taking the massive library of wisdom we have gathered and using it to paint on a brand new canvas. The world needs the perspective of people who have lived through history, who have seen cycles of change, and who can combine that experience with the tools of the future. You are not a relic of the past. You are a pioneer of the future. The process of unlearning and relearning is a lifelong commitment. It is a muscle that needs to be exercised every day. There will be days when it feels exhausting, when the speed of change feels too fast. In those moments, remind yourself that you are doing something profound. You are choosing growth over stagnation. You are choosing curiosity over cynicism. You are choosing to be an active participant in the story of humanity. Unlearn the limits that society has tried to place on you. Unlearn the stories you've told yourself about what you can and cannot do. Relearn the thrill of a new idea. Relearn the satisfaction of a hard-earned skill. Your most exciting, most intellectual, and most impactful chapter is not behind you. It is right here, in this moment, waiting for you to turn the page. The desk is cleared. The blank page is glowing. The world is waiting for what you will learn next. Stay curious, stay bold, and never, ever stop growing. Your journey of relearning has only just begun.